Then from there, he said many other things, and I can't go on and on. But then I met the Apostle Paul. I said, Paul, you've inspired me so much. Paul said, yes. And I spoke to him, and Paul prophesied over me and spoke to me about my destiny, said what I would do on earth and many things. And then after Paul, one thing Paul said to me, I want to pick up on this because it's a product of ministry today in our time. Paul said, do not go and form denominations for yourself. He said, God has no recognition of a denomination. Paul said, do not form denominations, but rather form relationships. Build relationship with my saints. Build relationships with the saints of God. Work with them, undergirdle them. He says, and do not, those men that you father, those churches that you plant. Paul said, you will plant many churches around the world. He said, but when you plant them and train leaders, hand the church over when they are ready to preach. Hand their church over, because my Spirit will be upon them. The Spirit of God will be upon them, he said. And God will be their Father. God will help them by the Spirit of God. Train them, release them, and hand the churches over to them. He says, and don't make them recognize you as their spiritual father. He said, only make them recognize there is only one spiritual father, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He said, the old order of things. He said, you see it at the church in your time. He said, but I don't honor the old order. He says, I honor men of faith that walk in obedience. What Paul said has come to pass in many aspects. No, I don't have a denomination, and I will not have a denomination. But rather I build men, I plant churches, I release ministers in the faith. And glory to Jesus, they're better ministers than I ever can be and ever will be.